Nick, you ready? Yep. Ask the clerk for roll call, please.
Good morning. Michelle Drobnik.
Here.
Doug Erickson.
Here.
Preston Shireman. Jordan Spacek. And Patricia Steven.
Here.
Thank you.
Like to welcome Preston to our committee. Lots to learn. I'll just say that. Our next is public comments, and don't know if anybody would like to speak. Not at this point. If you'll wait for your agenda item, if that's
you're comfortable waiting.
yes.
Thank you.
Okay. Anybody?
Anybody online, *6.
All right. Anything communications from the committee? All right, we're moving along. Next on the agenda will be approval of minutes from the May 5th meeting.
I make a motion to approve.
I will second.
I have a first and a second. Do I have to ask all for everybody to approve that then? Is that correct? All right.
All in favor, yeah.
So just
Just a regular vote.
regular vote. All in favor, say aye.
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 Opposed? All right, next meeting, August 4th. That's what's our scheduled Tuesday. That's already scheduled. And Joe, do you feel we'll need a meeting then, or is that, we'll see, discuss that, okay. All right. All right, moving on. Buildings and grounds. You're on, John.
All right, good morning. Project updates. No big issues, I guess, going on right now, just minor repairs overall throughout the county. Minor lighting, plumbing issues. Fixed up some of the, had some laundry issues up in the jail with their commercial washer and dishwasher, so we got that fixed up. But yeah, nothing major on the repair front. Got a compressor go down, I guess that controls this building and the sheriff's department, just last weekend, and that ended up being a minor repair, but that does put out the AC, I guess, for the two buildings, but that's back up and going. So yeah, nothing big there, I guess. For other projects, we're finishing up the courthouse painting yet. We talked about that the last few months with the hallways. We're still finishing up bathrooms and some of the offices here. So that's an ongoing project. Other than that, we got starting the PM and inspection season. So boiler inspections are completed. We just had fire extinguisher inspections. That was one of the, we just came up on our 6-year maintenance. That's a mandated, you have to completely rebuild the fire extinguishers. So we ended up, it was actually cheaper to purchase all new fire extinguishers. So we just went through that, but good for another 6 years there. Also just had the fire alarm inspection last week, and the ACPM for the server room in the sheriff's department. It's a specialized AC unit that controls the server room, and
That's just an inspection on that?
It's a contracted PM. Yep. So they went over every 6 months on that. So, but yeah, other than that, that's about all I have for projects, really.
I didn't notice, were there signs? Are we still getting our signs?
We're still waiting on signage. Yeah.
Yeah, I was going to talk to Laura this morning. Obviously, the holiday weekend pushes things back, but the signs have been ordered. We're just waiting for them to get them to us from Sign Studio.
If I may, you have any updates on the electrical panel? Or anything new?
Nothing yet. We still still up the RFP, final touches on that, but we haven't sent anything out yet.
Yeah, our goal is to put that in the budget process, so we have time to get that RFP out to do for next year.
So you're hoping to have those numbers back to put into the budget that year? Just to fill Preston in a little bit, we have a big electrical panel issue coming up here. It's patched together, working now, but we are going to put it out for bids to redo, and it'll be a pretty expensive project.
It's the main switch gear that feeds the whole courthouse, so kind of an important piece of equipment. So
Right. You,
I think so.
Josh, that kind of covered your department updates and
Yeah, as far as department update, fully staffed right now. I got a good crew working right now, so everything's going well on that front.
financial report. That, Nick, that's just seeing where we're at for the year?
Yeah, it's just to have it in the packet. You don't have to approve it, you don't have to do anything, but it's for your review to see if
Where we're at for the
where
year.
we're at. Like Josh said, there hasn't been any major, surprises. The general maintenance, the preventative maintenance stuff, is just built into the budget.
All
So
budgeted for, yeah.
Yeah. Josh manages that very well, where it's keep the projects going, but not go overboard.
Okay, landscaping.
Yeah, I guess I could have done that under project updates too, because that's been one of our main projects we've had going on lately. It's been quite a few years since that's been updated, so we wanted to kind of get on that. We had a number of spots like around the courthouse here where it's actually eroded back into the building, so all that rain would be coming back into the basement area here. So we had a lot of backfill that went into that to slope it away from the building again, and then we remulched and cleaned up a lot of the area around this side of the building and this front of the building here. So along with that, we did replant some trees. We've had over several years, we've had some trees go down along the road here and over at the normal buildings. So we just replanted some trees and fixed up some of the lawn area. We still have some sidewalk problems to take care of, I guess, and some of the steps that are chipping away from years of salt, and we'll be working on that also, repainting handrails. Over at the normal building, we repaired it in the front of the normal building. There's been a fountain area, and that hasn't worked in quite a few years, several years maybe. So we got that up and going. Yeah, some people over there didn't even know there was a fountain in there. It was so grown up, but yeah, take a drive by, and it's right in front of the normal building. And that was just a real bad area for drainage. And so we, again, a lot of backfill there and top dirt now. So the guys will probably be seeding that in here today or tomorrow. So
And just so the history of that, it was a water garden is what they called it. Was UW Extension used to have the Master Gardeners program, and one of their projects was to do a project, and they asked if they could do something out in front of the normal building, which it was that first like 10 feet in front of the building was all like river stone or rock, and then they made this water garden that would take the roof water and just recycle it there and have like a little fountain. Master Gardeners took care of it for 4 or 5 years, and then it kind of went by the wayside, and that's when it just kind of grew bunch of weeds and trees and bushes. And so Josh and his crew took a lot of the rock out. So if you go over there and look, the south side of it, from the garden south, was all rocks, and now it's just grass, or it's being planted as grass. Same with on the other side of it. So they minimize where they have to take care of just the fountain area on that.
And it was kind of a marshy area there too. And so, yeah, like we wanted to get it so we could plant it into lawn around that fountain display, I guess. And then some picnic tables over there. So it'd be a nice area. Oh, yeah.
So the reason this is really on the agenda is we would like some direction on some of the landscaping over here by the courthouse. So for you of those who've been around for a long time, there used to be this garden rock structure thing right out in front here. It was what, 20 by 15? It was pretty
something,
large,
yeah,
25 by 15. It was had kind of a bench around it, had a bunch of rocks, had a bunch of trees in it. That was removed 4 years ago.
I believe, yeah.
Making a bigger green space out here. So we've talked in the past, do you as a committee and think that we should plant a couple more trees down the middle here? I know we do have once in a while. We haven't in a while. There used to be like craft fairs would come be out here. I know the kids museum sets up out here during fall festival, but we were thinking, do we plant some bigger trees down the middle, or 5, 6 of them? That way, once they grow up, you have some shade. So when you do have the events, you can still be there, but you can put some picnic tables, do something else rather than a wide open area. I see no head shaking, just green space.
Maybe.
Maybe, yeah.
Maybe.
Plant some trees. The boys like to weed whack and mow around.
I will say the last few meetings I park there and I walk here and I'm looking at the old mulch that's gray and the poor plants, and I'm thinking to myself, really?
No budget.
Because I'm at home trying to keep my own plants alive. But then I left and they were actively working on the mulch when I left, and I went, I stopped and I hugged them. I said, thank you. Like I knew we could do this. I knew it could be. And it looks gorgeous. Yeah. So I'm up for something out here. That's fine.
Oh,
We've
satanic thing.
and we've talked before about these 2 big spruce trees here.
I was getting to that. I was just trying to
Okay,
figure out.
Not touch my spruce trees.
We'll get there. We'll get there.
That reason, then we want to take some out.
Yeah. Well, but again, it wasn't to fill up the space. It was just to, if you've been out here it's a warm day, there's no shade for those activities. It's not meant to kick people off the area. It's meant to give some shade, something there. The other thing, I did talk to the chamber. They use these 2 large trees out front for their holiday tree, their Christmas tree. And the reason they use this one is the parade's here. It ends here in this area, so then they can do the Christmas tree lighting. They've been talking about doing more of using the park down by the splash pad as their ending spot. What their problem is, they can't get a lot of the floats down there very easily, so it's hard to end down there to do the festival. So first thing I requested or asked the chamber is, it's really tough to make these nice Christmas trees because they've just been overgrown. Is there, what options can we work with? So when Jonathan and I were talking, is he's going to contact some of their chamber members that do tree work. And so the first option would be to prune them up and actually get them to a shape that is conducive to putting lights on and working with them. With that though, the chamber has said, well, why do we need 2 Christmas trees? So we would look at reducing it to 1 or doing something else by having them do a different area of for the Christmas tree. Cause it's not really they put some lights on it and call it the Christmas tree. So Jonathan is working on that with some of his vendors or some of his chamber members, that at least to clean it up so they can do something with it. That was the second thing. Right now they're hopefully going to be cleaned up to be a little bit more usable. So let's go back to the do we want trees?
I would
planted?
plant a.
So on that note, yes, I would like to see new trees planted. And then talk about if we remove one of those.
Okay.
And my
Specification on trees. We were talking about, do you do like maple trees because they tend to have a bigger canopy, or do you do?
So what we did is we used to have like flowering crabs on this whole side here, almost to the sheriff's department. And like I said, over several years, like you lose one here, and they were getting older, and so I think the couple that were here on this front side, we lost both of those several years ago, and so that's the ones I replanted with new flowering crabs. So that's what we have is, once again, flowering crabs going on this walkway here. So otherwise, I haven't done anything with the front area here yet. So
I would recommend that whatever one tree we use for a Christmas tree, is it the Fraser fir you're supposed to, is that the best Christmas tree? I mean, I do know it takes what, Price Electric to do those trees.
yeah.
I imagine we would plant a smaller tree and it would grow up, but you wouldn't want a Christmas tree decorate a maple. Is that what you said? You know what I mean?
Right. And I'm just saying for the middle, for the shading area, and we could plant a future Christmas tree too, if you want. That's why we're talking about it, is what do you want to see out here? We had talked about, again, the biggest thing was the shade in the middle to be able to put some picnic tables out there. And we did talk about putting like fruit bearing trees and then having more of the.
How many rows of red pine can we get in there, Joe? Do some red oak or something like that, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then we can do the placards and people can learn about trees.
Oh, don't get too excited. No. But again, the other thing we did talk about is, do you put some apple trees or something where it's then as a community you can grab an apple.
Make it a whole garden then?
No, just an orchard with some shade.
I don't know about apple trees. You're gonna have deer all over, and then you have a mess. We have the apple tree, and it's deer and
We're
mess.
narrowing it down. We want some
Oak
large
and maple.
leafy trees. Where we go?
Do we want oak because of the acorns? That's another mess to clean up.
They have a collection system in the lawnmower.
We clean it. We have one over here already.
They said there's one right here, isn't there?
Yeah.
Or two?
I see one oak out there for sure.
So yes, a few trees would be nice.
I need to see this AI version.
We did not work it up.
That's
in-
true. Yeah.
So we gotta do an RFP for an artist rendering.
Yeah.
Are we gonna try and do that this fall or next year?
We were hoping just to get something planted now because they're working on that stuff. Do you want Josh just kind of move forward with, we're not taking down any trees?
Make sure they're
just to add-
uniformly planted, please. I'm very picky about that.
But
So
I guess
variety.
what kind of trees? Joe, what was your opinion on what kind of trees?
Use your mic.
I would do something like a sugar maple maybe, or an oak, and I'd probably not do all of one, because just like the ash down here are gonna probably croak. You know, don't put all your eggs in one basket. So just
Yeah,
a little bit
maybe
of
some maple, some oak.
they're usually a nice clean looking tree.
You have some direction there? No?
Yeah.
Maybe.
And then on the big trees, like I said, we'll see what the chamber can come up with for somebody pruning it, or we're really kind of leaving it up to them because that's their tree project. That's their thing. We're not telling them to take them down. We're not telling them to move. We're just saying we would like something. They do need some cleaning up. And then since you guys are all worked up about the trees, they both, Joe and Josh, want $200,000 for equipment. This, I'm kidding. It's easier to make a decision on that than trees, I guess. No, we're just talking about trees.
I have another question. Does a birch tree grow by itself? You see all these birch trees at the base, and there's like 3 or 4 of them, and they look pretty. What about a birch tree? Option.
they tend to die off.
Yeah, I was gonna
also.
say birch aren't as hardy as like
Okay.
what Joe's talking about with the maples and oaks.
Okay.
How big a tree are you?
And as soon as you do
considering?
any landscaping around a birch,
Start 'em
it's
small.
toast.
Well,
Like,
define
Apple.
small.
I stayed like 10 feet away from some on my
Um,
land, and they're
Like the flowering crabs that I
2 years
found
later,
were already
dead,
over
all
6
of them.
feet
It's like, come
tall.
on.
So I mean they're
Okay.
That's a-
established anyway. So, yeah, several years old already. So
Where would we be? Are we purchasing trees locally, or how far out do we have to spend our money?
these I bought locally. Yep.
They're
And
closed for the season now, though,
yeah, yep,
if you bought them.
yep. But, and they're giving us a good deal on the mulch and everything. So
That's not to say that he might not still be able to do something, but I did see the sign when I came to town that he's closed for the season.
Joe's?
yeah.
The billboard said, "See you in 2027,"
Yeah.
or something like that this morning.
And I didn't see what he had for if he has hardwood trees or anything. There's left to, is there?
Quite a few there. I know, because I was there like 2 weeks ago, and there was one really nice maple I was looking at, but it was $250, and I'm pretty frugal, but it was big.
I believe Winter Greenhouse is a chamber member here, or they were. That'd be an option too.
Yeah, Josh will look around and see what there is.
Well, they were before he was.
Okay.
All right. Anything else on trees? Any other questions for Josh? Committee.
All right. Thank you.
Thank you, Josh, for your report.
Put in some money. Yeah.
Before Josh leaves, Preston, being new, Josh is our buildings and grounds person, and then Joe here on the end is the forestry. So they can introduce themselves later, but so you're aware who was talking.
All right. Forest and parks. Next item is forest program and land removal process. Joe's got some information for us.
So I included the couple things on that. The first one was put together by a DNR forester. He's the guy in charge of the public lands. And it just kind of lays out the removal process. Just going through it, it's first got to be the committee's got to discuss it, then approve it or reject it. Then it goes to the full board. Full board, it's got to be a resolution, 2/3 approval. County Forest Administrator fills out the application, submit it to DNR. They do an investigation of the withdrawal. And then, that goes to, I think there's a couple people that review that, and then onto the Chief State Forester for final approval, denial. Is how the process works. The biggest thing that he highlights in any withdrawal is that it's the one highlighted section, whether upon withdrawal the land will be put to a better or higher use, and whether benefits of withdrawal to the people of the state of as a whole and the county outweigh the benefits under continued entry. So we would have to show that any withdrawal that we do is benefiting not only us, but also the state as a whole, people of the state.
Joe, can you briefly update us as to why this is on the agenda?
Yeah, well, that's
'Cause I don't
the
know,
second
I'm not
one is
sure.
the land sale inquiry is
Yeah,
the
okay.
next one.
I just wanted, I think most of us
Oh,
know.
because press, yeah, okay, I'm sorry. Yeah, there's a, yeah.
So I just want to make my understanding clear from Joe. So you highlighted that we would have to, there would have to be a benefit to the county and to the state in order for them to approve this.
Correct. So even if the county says we want to remove a chunk of land, it doesn't mean that the state will approve it.
Okay.
So we have to, it's when we do the applications on us to show why it's good for everybody as a whole.
That's good. Okay.
So, it's not just us that can just say, oh, we're going to remove it, and that's fine. It's got to go through the state as well. So when we're burdened with showing that.
Okay.
And the reason, Preston, there was an offer on a chunk of land in the county. And so then it was, okay, what's the process we have to do to remove a chunk of land if we're ever going to sell some? So that's kind of what we're talking about. Yeah. Yeah.
Committee, any questions on that process here?
We can always bounce back. You can always go back to discuss the process.
All right, then we go into the.
I guess I don't have any questions. I know Christy and I didn't catch your name. They were both on there. I don't know. Is this a time we want them to speak about?
I was gonna say, now we're on to
You
the
know,
land.
I
sales
guess we're
inquiry.
on to that. So if they would like to speak, we might as well let them speak.
Yeah, let's bring them up.
Am I on now? Yes, thank you. Good morning. I'm Christy Spear, representing the Higgins family. With me is Ryan Higgins, one of the family members involved with the project. And after last month's meeting, the family took to heart the questions and concerns that you guys presented and asked. And so we put together an updated response to try to address some of those concerns, which I believe Joe has forwarded on to everybody. So there's probably a 5-page letter from me to you in your pile. A few of the updates that we made was just kind of reiterating why this is a very unique circumstance and why it wouldn't necessarily be setting precedent for the county as a whole for selling property. We recognize that this is a one-off and not something that you guys wish to be doing regularly. Also, in consideration of the extra administration expenses that were discussed, my clients have increased their offer from $65,000 to $75,000, as well as offering to cover all associated expenses. If a survey is needed or the like, they would be happy to cover those expenses as well. Our prior proposal also had originally suggested using the middle of the river as the natural boundary way. After discussion, we've shrunk that back to just the ordinary high water mark, which would reduce the total acreage to just under 10 acres per our estimates, which therefore increases the price per acre to be over $7,500 per acre. There was also some questions and concerns about what their use for the property would be. And again, their primary goal was, to quote Mike, to have a comprehensive parcel to finish the project. So we are happy to put a 25-year deed restriction on there that there would not be improvements either recreationally or commercially. With regards to managed forest law, while the Higgins family property that surrounds it currently is in MFL, if the county has any preferences with regards to the current or the sliver in the future, they'd be open to county suggestion for that. Similarly, they would also be willing to make an additional $10,000 conservation-related contribution to a DNR entity. The Knowles Nelson Stewardship Program is one option. Again, trying to show that it's something that will benefit hopefully the county and the state. So that's just kind of a summary of those revisions. We're both here to answer any questions that you may have.
Thank you. Just let's reviewing this a little bit here. Sure.
Thank you. It was also discussed a potential land swap might be of interest to the county. I think Joe presented that last time. The family's also open to that if you guys could direct us to what other land you would like. But we didn't want to go just randomly buy some other property and offer to swap it without knowing it would be of interest. Thank you.
I guess we gotta see the committee's feeling on this. I guess I
Is the 40?
struggling finding the benefit to the county. I mean, we do have a little financial benefit, but
And then below that is theirs.
I guess I am struggling with other benefit to the county. And now what Joe's research here on withdrawing, that the state also would have to come up with the benefit to the whole state. I'm looking for some more feedback from folks.
Yeah, I guess I'm not opposed to it. It's something that we don't do very often. I guess you're only asking for the piece and parcel, or is it both parcels, all the sliver all the way across there? So is it just that chunk where the arrow is currently, or all the way along? Okay, it is. It is okay. Okay. 'Cause I wasn't sure, like looking at this size here, if that was including both. Okay. What's that? Yes. Yeah. Yep. Yep. Like I said, I'm not opposed to it. This is going to open a whole can of worms that other people are going to come forward. This is a unique situation where, like you said, the logging access and accessibility for the county, is very limited. I guess I don't know exactly how wide the river is there. I would guess 50 to 75 feet, roughly, Yeah. Yeah. Yep. So like I said, I don't have an issue with it. It's just reading through the process. I don't know how, I don't know how the application goes, Joe, how you would word or could word that it would be a benefit to the state. Do you need to point that out, or do they need to figure that out? Is my question.
Well, the benefit, we'd have to show that it's a benefit to the people of the county, people of the state.
Sure,
Yes,
sure.
that's on us too. If we want to withdraw something, then we have to show that that's a clear benefit.
Sure.
I guess I do have another question, that if we so would choose to sell, would it have to go on public auction? Would it have to be offered to everybody?
Not that I know of. That's
Okay.
no.
I didn't.
Preston, got any input? You're the new eyes and ears.
Well, kind of like what he said with the public auction, we should at least let the public know
Yeah.
beforehand too.
That is part
I
of
don't know how
there is a public meeting that you have to have.
it's their
With
land.
a public
Yeah,
hearing as well.
Sure.
right.
I'm afraid we're opening up. If we would do this, I'm afraid we're opening up other possibilities to other people.
Well, I can guarantee you, if we do this, there's going to be at least one or two a year that come through.
Yeah. And
This is a very unique situation. I understand that point. Right now, you're using the land and not paying for it.
right,
That's the hard part to wrap our head around. I think, I guess if you can see it from our point of view, I mean, I understand it. I have 73 acres myself, and there's a 40 next door to me that the elderly people own that I've been trying to buy for 8 years. They won't let me have it. Go use the roads. Go ahead. Okay. Well, I don't feel comfortable using those roads because it's not mine, but also I do go ride on them here and there because they say to, and I'm not paying for it. Situation, so this is very, very interesting.
Yeah. And you do have access to it. It's county land, and you can do everything but cut trees and build on it. But I mean, you do have access to it. Sure,
Yeah,
sure.
Of course.
Sure. Thank you very much. And thank you for considering the request. As you note, the reason for wanting the property is mostly emotional. It just completes the parcel. There's a little bit of a safety aspect to it as well. We have lots of young kids in the family that walk up that way. And if the hunter were to cross the river or something, it's very inaccessible, but theoretically it's kind of a safety issue as well. But it's mostly just emotional. In terms of the benefit to the county, of course, there's just the economic aspect of the transaction. But beyond that, it would put it on the tax rolls, of course. And I'm not as versed in the forest management stuff, but I'm not sure that it's presently managed. I know Joe manages the parcel below it, and this would presumably put that under Joe's management as well for disease spotting and other things.
The parcel below is an MFL. This parcel, if you took it out, it could go on MFL, but tax benefits to the MFL, that's not much to the county.
Like nothing.
Yeah.
No, we'd be better off to
keep it.
to keep it in standard tax rates or whatever.
Yeah.
As far as for on the county's end of things, showing the public benefit of this would be extremely difficult. I don't know if we'd be able to show that. I don't see that being the state saying that that's going to be a thing. I mean, we can definitely try. There's going to be a lot of work that goes into it, and to say that the county's going to get $75,000, that's not really benefiting anybody that's maybe in Madison that comes up and wants to canoe the river and whatever, utilize that there. So there, to see that, I don't, but that's.
Do you want to talk about too? So like we have 92,000 acres that we have to manage, and part of that management, there's some acreage that we have to, that this would fall into because we don't have access. So it actually helps.
Sure. And
a percentage we have to do. Talk about that.
Some of that, like for a timber sale, we'll have, we have to do green tree retention or, even like a strip like this, for the most part, even across the river on the north side, there's an RMZ that you're going to use, or riparian management zone, that you don't, cut into most times. There's some management that can be done, but it just protects the stream as a whole anyways. So that would be the use as far as that goes. The land swap thing, that's maybe someday there's a spot where it's like, hey, this was a big benefit. Like we bought that Ram property that gave access to 1,300 acres. Well, that was a big benefit to the public. And maybe someday there's something like that, hey, you know what, this strip for that strip makes a lot of sense. We can really help out a lot of the public. But at this point, I don't know what that strip would be. But
And just to go back, the Ram property was out on W. We had a landlocked, what'd you say, 1,300? It was quite a few acres.
1,500.
1,500 acres so from Highway W to that acreage was about 80 acres. And there was an individual Ram that had a property that we could do 20 acres. So it was 40 total, but it ended up, we then could put a road, we put parking, and now we have access to 1,500 acres that was accessible, but very, very difficult. Now it's very, very easy for individuals, whether it's recreation, whether it's hunting, whether it's our forest management. Now we have access to it. So that one happened 10 plus years ago, I would guess, 8 years ago. It's been a while.
Yeah, at least 10, yeah.
And that one,
12.
That's where Joe's saying there was a benefit to purchasing to not only the county, but to the citizens.
And that one didn't involve a withdrawal. It was just a pure purchase.
Right.
But when you're talking, if financially it's where we think it's a benefit to, we can pay for that with something like that. Maybe that is a benefit down the road at some point. Currently, like I said, we have a couple of small parcels that are landlocked and not nothing for sale by it.
Go ahead, Patty.
Has there been a withdrawal in the past?
Yeah, out east of Musser, there was some land swaps that went on. So they, property owner there was a couple of checkerboard type stuff where, they swapped 40s and kind of made that landowner whole and then the county whole, so that it made sense for, management of lines and also just access. So it was a corner to corner and can't really get a piece of equipment across it anyways. So
Okay, so that was,
those are the ones that I know of. I'm sure there might have been.
So
other
that was a
ones.
swap.
that was
not
more
a-
of
That
a
was a
trade.
swap. Yeah,
Yes.
but you still had to withdraw that 40 that you swapped. So you had to,
Okay.
but there we can show, okay, hey, we got a, at the time, corner to corner crossing was not a thing. So, you're showing a inaccessible 40 and all of a sudden you're making it so public can access. So
And that one was a little difficult too, because you actually had to show that, like, we're not just trading somebody a nice 40 for a swamp 40 to make a square. We actually, the county had to come out a benefit. So there was I think there was a big ridge back on that one. Or there's something where it was like, cool, there was loggable area that made sense for the long-term forestry. This one, again, to go back, Joe and I've had a couple of discussions where it's, even if you found a swap, it's going to have to be a pretty decent one, because you're taking several 40s that's already owned. You're now adding river frontage to it that could be split into a lot of parcels that are very valuable. So there's a value there that is hard to just say, oh, we have access to something. So there's a lot more going on than just here's 40 for 40. The public has to come out ahead, and that's it, like Joe says, it's going to be very difficult to
in
narrate
talking
that.
with some DNR personnel, especially waterfront properties, those are ones where they talk about those, and it's got to be like they want to see the citizens come out where it's 2 to 3 times value. So if we think this is that, well then that's because water frontage is very valuable in their mind, no matter if it's landlocked or not. So, I mean, there's projects where they're buying river corridors the whole way, and a lot of that is inaccessible except for by river. So, it's a very valuable commodity to the state. We would have to show that, and we'd also have to get that value out to the citizens.
Is there a direction you'd like to see? Is there more you want to hear? Is there more?
I
you want to
mean,
put it to
from
rest?
what I'm hearing is this would be almost impossible, and I'm not seeing the benefit to the county. And at this point, are we as a committee to vote yes or no to continue? What are our options?
Yeah, I didn't. The two that I can think of, and I may not be correct. You could just say we discussed it. You leave it on. It just was on the agenda. You move on. That leaves some opening to if the family came up with the most beautiful parcel to swap or the best whatever. It's not gone. You could say to postpone, and then the deal would have to be real special to come back, because you're saying you're postponing, you're pretty much saying no to it at that point.
I guess I'll ask committee to.
Michelle, what do you got? You're normally not this quiet, and I know you were at the rodeo this weekend, but
I know. I had to do a lot of talking too.
Yeah.
Anyway, I'm really struggling to see the benefit that the county would actually gain from it. Obviously, being an MFL, there's like, if it were to go into MFL, that's a huge concern for me, because then you're getting nothing, essentially. I mean, it's pennies on the dollar, basically, right, Joe? I mean, really, when you slice it
And
down.
just so everybody knows, when stuff goes back on the tax roll, it doesn't mean we collect more taxes. It just redistributes the current taxes you collect. So say you put $100,000 parcel out there that collects $2,000, that takes a penny off of the other 2,000 parcels. So we want as much on the tax roll as possible that distributes the costs evenly, but it doesn't all of a sudden we get $2,000 more. Yay, we can,
Right.
it redistributes the current levy. Yeah.
Where I'm currently sitting is I need to make a motion to postpone this. They have to come back with something that's really going to make this more palatable for me. I mean, with the carbon credits and everything else that roll up into this, I just don't see how we're going to come out ahead.
So was that a motion? So
Yeah.
We have a motion to.
Do you need me to pretty that up, Meredith? Are you good?
I have a motion to postpone this. Do you want indefinitely or just postpone?
If you're saying no.
Yeah, I mean, well, I want to table it.
Table would be
Right.
that would be doing nothing. Like, so if you just did not, this is a discussion. There was no decision made, no nothing. It just goes away. We're done with it. Postponing indefinitely is more of that strong arm saying, don't come back anytime soon unless it'd be, that's the difference.
Right. I mean, if they have something more fruitful, then I guess I'm open to hearing that, but
So then do nothing.
Then if we just leave it.
Just leave it as a discussion.
Is, then it could come back if something would.
This isn't a resolution that you're trying to kill. This isn't there's no original motion that you're trying to get rid of. And that's where the postpone so if a resolution's in front of you, that's what that would be.
Go ahead.
I obviously hear the discussion tending toward a land swap, if anything. If you do postpone and invite us to come back with a land swap proposal, it would be helpful if perhaps the committee could empower somebody to discuss with us what might be attractive, just so that we're not coming here in 3 or 4 months with the best guess. I don't know how mechanically that would work, but that would be helpful.
Joe, would you be interested in that at all?
And that's something we can always just keep an eye out on our end of things, because stuff does come along once in a while where a realtors call up or whatever happens, and it's like, well, this could be a benefit, and we can always keep in touch with the family on that and
I
committee as a whole.
Yeah, and I guess we just leave that. You meet with Joe if there would be something that would be possible. Joe would bring that back to the committee here for more discussion. Everybody all right with that?
Yeah, I don't think we should postpone. I think we just leave it as a discussion item and move on from it. And let them keep digging. I'll say, unfortunately, it just, like I said, I understand the thought and the want, but the true benefit to the taxpayers in the county is figuring that out to be able to sell that to the public is the hard part currently. So I would say we just move on, leave it as a discussion.
We thank you for your time and inquiry. Sorry that we can't continue with it, I guess.
Yeah, and to answer your question, Joe would be the person that I would work with. He knows where we have land, where we don't have access, or if there's stuff going on. So it may take a while to even come up with a proposal, but that's who you'd work with Forestry Department, which is Joe.
All right, thank you, folks. All right. Moving on, recreational gold prospecting request. This sounds interesting.
Yeah, this is one, I don't know if we've ever had a request for this before, so that's why it's in front of you, because the request was basically to go do some hand. If you read on the bottom, brothers and I are looking to use a shovel, pan, and small crevicing tool to scrape out a small amount of material from between rocks in the South Fork of Jump River.
Is this right below the piece of property we were just talking about? I'm just,
somewhere along N. is
I'm
the
just,
way I
I'm just
get.
teasing. I'm sorry. Sorry. Yeah.
You guys know something?
Yeah. Wait a minute. Now that explains why they want the land. Jeez. I thought you said your name was Ryan.
So anyways, the state does allow this. It's basically for recreational purposes only. Can't sell anything that you collect is the way the permits are written from the state. It's basically a 5-pound limit that they can take. It's by handed written permission, basically. This is coming from the local DNR warden, kind of pointed us to what they do, I guess. So, come to you, see if we want to allow this kind of activity or not.
Would this be regulated by the DNR?
Well, because it's our property, we would be the ones that need to. There is state statute on some of this stuff, but yeah, I mean, like I said, it's non-commercial use, so that it's kind of similar to like if a person calls and wants to collect some rocks from like a gravel pit in front of their house. We have had those requests before. This would be similar, I guess. It's kind
Does
of
the
like
DNR
gathering
still have to-
mushrooms, I guess, except for it's got gold on the name, so then it's
Turn into
all
a
important.
field.
If the county says it's okay, does the DNR still have to approve, or does it do that the statute or whatever that you included in the packet, does that apply and that's it?
No, we would. I think, as far as I have read, I would, of course, probably notify her because she'd probably be the one out and about that would see the person. So, but we would give them a handwritten or a note, saying that this is okay for you to go do this kind of thing. So,
Just kind of glancing at this, basically nobody can take a rock out of the river and bring to their house without a permit, is what this says.
there's a lot. I mean, Tom could speak to that, but state land, federal land, I mean, you're really not supposed to pick up a lot of stuff and carry it home. I mean, it's
Intricacies of that stuff, but
yeah.
This in our code that you pulled is probably the most applicable
Yeah.
resource we have involved right now.
Yeah. So technically, you're probably right on that.
Yeah.
We
Whoops, I might have violated that law.
It's different in Michigan.
Michigan.
Yeah, it's different up
Michigan,
in
maybe that
Michigan.
was a
Yeah.
mistake.
Yeah.
There's in it though too. There's in Langley County, a group of gold prospectors blew a beaver dam that just about took out Highway 17 in Parish. So we have to be careful of that and aware of that. So hopefully the DNR would be involved in the permit.
Yeah, and I think on our note we would just say hand tools only.
The positive with this is they're coming forward to let you know, because
Absolutely.
I don't know how you would know otherwise unless they got caught doing something. So I think more what Joe's bringing forward is just, hey, everybody be aware of this. Unless there's a major like do not do, he just has to come up with some kind of, like you said, a note to say.
That and some people are
we're-
touchy about their areas that they own,
Yeah.
quote unquote. The people that recreate in those certain areas have, some
Strong
really,
feelings.
yeah, strong feelings. So, and this is one of those areas as well. You're right, but it is something different that we haven't done before. I don't have any feelings one way or the other, whether they, if they want to go down in the river. I don't foresee it all of a sudden being 100 people down there and we're really getting after it anyways.
I was just going to say that if it becomes fruitful, then everybody's going to want.
But they can't sell it.
By law, they can't sell it though anyways.
I mean, but how do you
I
police
understand
that?
that. Huh?
But then how do you police that? Like, do you go count fish in a freezer or whatever? You know what I'm saying? Like, how do you?
You're right.
You can.
Do they have land there? Or is this just accessing the river?
It's already public. publicly owned if
But,
it's in the
but you
river,
have to
right?
get to the river though.
So,
Right, yeah, so they can get to the river. 'cause
well, I'm
it's
just
all
saying that
public on each side.
whatever's there belongs to all of us right now.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, but I pay taxes on the media or the boulevard and I still got to maintain it, but yet the city gets mad at me if I don't. You know, it's technically their right away, right? It's one of those things.
I guess I don't have a problem with, just a permit that basically says they can take a rock home is what it legally, I mean.
We go up to Michigan and pick up all those Uber rocks, not all,
You don't-
a lot,
you don't have to
and bring
carry
them
my
home. And
license.
it's like, yeah, what am I going to do with these when I get them home? Yeah, go for it.
So I guess that's my opinion, but if somebody else says something or would like to make a motion one way or another.
I'll make a motion to let them walk around in the river with a pick and a shovel.
Recreational.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah. Limiting tool
Yes.
usage.
yeah.
I'll second.
All in favor, say aye.
I
Aye. Opposed. Right.
I'd have been the guy in there digging already without realizing it.
That's what I said. Positive that they're coming.
Yeah.
Next on the agenda is the 2025 annual report.
This is every year we have to do an annual report, put it on record. Kind of a summary of what was completed on the county forest and the parks, both with timber and planting and different permits that we give out.
Joe, this dock looks amazing. The old dock that's there, when's that going to get some attention? The tripping hazard hole before it is really bad.
One of these days.
Okay,
Yeah, he is. We'll probably have him replace that one as well.
Sure. Like I said, it's this one turned out beautiful. This looks awesome. So the old one over there. How many years old is that old one?
Boy,
20?
yeah, at least it's that one's a little more difficult because of the locate. Like this one will leave in year round.
Yeah,
because
yep.
it's protected in the bay. That one we have to pull every year. So it gets beat up because you're pulling it every
Yep.
year.
Yeah.
How is our new part of the park being used?
We had some this weekend, 21, I guess. So half full. So
Good. Go ahead.
I'll say on Solberg, the Dunbars had their family reunion 27 years now in the new pavilion again. Gorgeous building, gorgeous construction. It looks beautiful. We had 80 out there. We used all the electrical outlets, all the tables. We'll take any more you can give us. I noticed the new landing. Every single parking spot was full, had a trailer in it. So that was between noon and 2 on June 27th, the weekend before the 4th. Every single boat parking spot had a trailer in it. We had 80 out that pavilion. The weather was gorgeous. The gravel around it, it's level. We had the picnic tables. Everything is level and usable. Nothing was, there's not holes and pits and things. So Joey, your department did a beautiful job, and it's an asset and a gem
thanks.
to Price County.
The annual report, if you go to the last 2 pages, that kind of showed the expansion project from just after timber sale to steps along the way, I guess.
I concur with what was just said. Just a quick question. I heard there was a Class A that sunk in the new part. Have you compacted things a little bit there?
Yeah, we did some shouldering work, and even the sites themselves did some leveling and smoothing out because just even some of the unevenness on the edge of the gravel to try to get.
Yeah,
it
I
so
don't know the
it's-
details. I was told that this person with a Class A motorhome
Yeah,
had
it's
had trouble.
some motorhomes. I think you should need a CDL to drive. But
Okay, so there's more to the story.
it was it yes, and that was some very sandy material that he is, and we
I'm sure it has
They-
to settle a little bit from being new and
yeah
That's got another lift of blacktop to go in though, correct?
correct yeah
And so then we'll have to re-shoulder
right
and approach as
Right.
well.
yeah we'll probably
That'll be this summer yet?
It was supposed to be
Yeah.
last,
no, it's fine.
he told me end of June, and then yeah whatever
Oh.
way it goes.
Because we'll have to probably close part of it for a little while, I'm assuming. You know,
Yeah,
around the
we'll see what there is for use at the time, and then
Yeah.
you know it's kind of tough because you don't get the heads up on it. All of
Yeah.
a sudden they're there. So like I said, it was supposed to be
Yeah. No.
2 weeks ago, but here we are. So yeah,
All
we'll
right.
probably work with Highway Shop on that as far as shouldering.
Anything else on the annual report?
Can I ask a question? Do we need a motion to send it? I'll put it on county board as well
It
for everyone to see.
just has to be on.
No, that's
record,
on
so,
file.
Yeah,
On file. Okay. And also, could I ask if you would keep your printed copies for the next county board meeting? And then we'll print some more for other people
Let me
too.
put it in my drawer.
There you go.
It's clean now.
Oh,
No, mine
did
is.
you clean mine? You forgot to clean mine out.
No, I did mine. I have lots of room at the moment. Kind of scary, actually.
All right, next on our agenda is private power easement, Holy Cross Road. Explain?
Yeah, so my map kind of got cut off, but Charles Shane came or called in and said asked for an easement. What he's going to do is run power along Holy Cross Road up along, I think it's actually Holy Cross Trails Lane is what it is when it's north of the intersection. He's going to run along the road, and then he's going to cut across the one property owner. Then they have a woods road that goes up. So going to go into theirs and then go over to his property to the east. So he needs, they need like 50 feet from the center line of the road. The actual easement will be with Price Electric because it's going to be their power. So it's Price Electric's power going all the way there along the road, and then turns private after that.
Is this underground overhead?
Underground? Yeah.
So
So they'll have to clear a little bit of there's some young aspen along the west side.
This is it here where the green is? That's what they want?
Yeah, that's county land. So the county land is the green stuff. There's that little green line there.
Yep.
I should do it in pink or something, but it's the green one. That's about what it's going to be.
Okay. And that's the distance it'll be?
Yeah, he said, I forget what the distance actually is, but it's 360 feet.
Sure.
Is approximately what.
Is this a little building that's below where it says trailhead? Is that a little building?
Yeah, there's a little pavilion there. So along the edge of that road, the equestrian club has little placards there for people to park their trailers and whatever, because that's they used to actually come and mow the trail and
Sure.
and kind of maintain it a little bit more. Now they don't as much, but we do mow the trailhead, and there's a bathroom there.
So this is getting power part of the way to that.
Correct. Yeah.
And do you need
So-
approval from us?
Yeah, so the way private utility services, the way they work, county retains ownership. It's not the permit, of course, is going to be with, or the easement is going to go with Price Electric. So it stays our land. The biggest thing we have to decide is if we're going to charge a fee for that at all for crossing our land. It's basically, we have it written up as case by case basis.
What have we done in the past?
We really have not on private ones. The one thing we have done is if there's wood that's merchantable, then we do charge stumpage on what's there. But you are removing some, widening that shoulder. There's benefit to that because, like I said, they do park horse trailers along there, so it's not like it's something terrible that way, and we're not losing too much. But you are going to lose, a small portion of some aspen.
And this is along the trail,
It's along the road itself,
the road itself.
the town
so-
road itself.
So the town road will appreciate it being brushed back.
A little bit. So I would make a motion that we approve it with them paying for us for any stumpage that we would lose.
Okay.
And obviously they own all the costs, right?
Yeah.
I mean, that kind of goes without saying, I would think, but
The other thing I would add on this is that I don't think we have any plans of putting power to that trailhead, but add on the easement that, because the way that works is like if I put an easement across Jordan's land, if Jordan wants power within the first 7 years, he would have to pay half the cost. Is the way that
Sure.
works. So
That's what I was getting at. Is
put
that a building
something-
that needs?
I don't think we need power
Okay.
there, an extra $50 a month, but that's something where I think we leave that open where
Sure.
let's put it on the easement that, hey, this under the understanding, if we want power, we would not be paying for.
I agree.
I said that, didn't you hear it?
Yes, I was just adding that in. Yeah.
Okay.
Do you know, is this overhead lines or is it buried?
Very, yeah.
Meredith, you have a motion there?
I need clarification. I have motion Dravnik to approve the Price Electric Power Utility easement along Holy Cross Road. Something about, I need clarification. If they want power, they pay for it, or something about them paying.
So if there's stumpage that gets,
Trees.
if any trees go down, we get reimbursed the stumpage cost of said tree removal, along with if we choose to add in power that we incur no cost.
Okay. Okay, so I have motion Drabnik to approve the Price Electric Power Utility easement along Holy Cross Road
I'll just add that.
with them paying the county for any trees stumpage, for any tree removal. And we incur no cost if they want power. Something like, I didn't finish the sentence, but
If we want power.
So yeah, if we want power, if we choose to add in power at some point that we don't incur an additional cost, and then we should probably put in something about mulching and making sure it's pretty. Like that we
Not
don't
mul-
leave a
not-
bunch of junk, right?
Um,
Is there a bunch of junk
like
out
we're
there?
doing down at Hill of Beans.
Just grinding.
Clean job.
Yeah, clean job.
Is that ongoing?
No.
Okay, I'll
I'll
say it.
cover.
Yeah.
so I have them paying us for any tree stumpage and reimbursed if any trees removed, and we incur no cost. We will not incur any cost if we want power and a clean job, as you said, to make it a clean job. To that effect. You can correct me if you need anything said different. Okay.
You could simplify it and just say we are approving the permit. He has direction to do the other stuff
Yeah.
with it.
Mm-hmm.
One
Sure, let her
question.
type it all out
Discuss,
first.
that's good enough.
So then it would just say motion to approve the Price Electric Power Utility easement along Holy Cross Road, the permit for the Price Electric Power Utility easement along Holy Cross Road. To include those things. Unless you want them named out.
Joe,
No, I
that's up
mean,
to you.
it's just their guidelines, right? With approved guidelines or something on that line.
Discussed, as discussed.
Just as discussed guidelines or,
Including the discussed guidelines.
there you go.
Joe, my question just so, because the committee was discussing the who, when, where location. So I have the map up here. Whoop. The easement's over here, but the gentleman that's requesting it, his property's over here. How does that work?
His name in the middle there. Okay, yeah,
Oh, okay. So he doesn't need, he's coming up and then straight across.
yeah, there's a woods road that he's gonna follow.
Got it. So he's not going across, why down Holy Cross and up? He's just going straight across.
Because of wetland there, but it's nice dry, good ground on the way he's going. If he goes the other way, there's some bog that he'd have some.
It's all wetland.
Stop it. It's fine.
No,
I'll second that motion.
Yeah, I was just clarifying so everybody knew because the map was a little confusing that the easement is over here. Where my cursor is, the actual property owner is over here. So like
Where
Joe
it
said there.
says his name.
All right, we have a motion and a second.
Easement.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye, opposed. All right. Cranberry Creek Dam. What's new there?
So just Preston for background, Cranberry Creek Dam, that washed out in 2018, I think was the year. The municipal dam grants at the time ran and 2-year cycles. That cycle had just passed when that washed out. So we applied for a dam grant for 2020. Got the grant, started the engineering process. We're finally at the part of it got approved. The grant itself, so it's approved, but basically to do the final approval, we have 90 days then to bid it out. So he's holding on to his approval till we figure our end out. So then he'll approve it so that we can get it bid out at the same time. So grant was written for 51,000, a max of 51,478. That is a 50% match. We did a county resolution on that the county would put up to half. So right now where we're sitting back in 2020 when we got the price, the structure was like $8,000. Now it's 24,000. Engineering, instead of it being just part of the reason why the engineering took so long was there was 2 different plans in the outlet pipe. One said 46 inch and one said 42 or whatever. So it would had 2 different sizes. So then that just became a big issue. So they had to redo all the engineering for the same structure. So that's all done. But then instead of that being a $4,000 bill, it's a $16,000 bill. So, so we're sitting just with those alone. That leaves us about $10,000 for install. So that'll be one of those deals where we'll try to, I'll see in the end here what structure cost. I had gotten an updated, that was a couple months ago, so that should be pretty good price. Money wise, we can probably use some money from some of our nickel and acre money, other wildlife money to match as well, but kind of just letting you know where we're sitting on things. I don't know where that's going to come in for the install. I was thinking more on the $20,000 side at least. And this kind of leaves it where we are probably, and it depends on who we get for a contractor. You know, some of that stuff might be, we're doing concrete work along with, that person that's doing the digging and the, that end of things to get that project completed. So,
So what you're saying, we're gonna run a little short on money?
yeah, we're not, that $10,000 isn't gonna do it for, basically we gotta excavate that out the way, so the structure itself is gonna be an aluminum pipe instead of the corrugated or the metal. Just acid eats those up after they get 20 years and they go. So aluminum should last a lot longer, but it's not as strong. So then you got to put these concrete support structures underneath in a couple spots. So that's part of the cost there too.
Did you look at aluminum with a poly tube, an aluminum head with a poly tube?
No.
Yeah, that's an option. That's how we've saved some money.
Sure.
That was through Flowgate.
Yeah.
Dawn should know that, or what's the other guy's name? Get his name. Probably. Yeah. I would ask about a cost on that because they have a coupler that goes onto the aluminum head to put poly tube on there, and poly.
Biggest thing is what's approved.
Sure.
That's the other
If it's
part.
approved.
Yeah.
Sure.
Yeah. And the cost of that, it isn't the concrete. The one structure is just a pad, 16, 19-inch pad. Basically, that's,
yeah. A
6 by
6
6
centering point. Yeah.
And then there's another one where there's a column that comes from Flowgate, and basically it's another pad with that set in it that's got to support the thing. So it's not like it's big dam structure stuff, but it's all work that has to be completed. So
yeah, we bought a culvert last year for 18,000 that we thought we were going to put in, and then the project got put on hold. So now we have an $18,000 culvert sitting there too. So.
So when will you know if you need more money? And then I guess, how do we address that?
I'll dig into it. The biggest issue is like the install cost. I can probably go to a couple of contractors or a contractor and just kind of get a cost for it. What they're kind of estimating, but it's tough to do that too, because you're asking them to take their time to give us an estimate on something that they don't know if they're going to even bid on or get. So, just looking at what the install costs were on the last couple, that's kind of where we're sitting, where it's in being a state grant, it's tough because you can't piecemeal the thing together either. If you could just hire somebody to, hey, we need you to preset this, get a side channel and
Can we use the highway excavator with our guys? Or is this
still comes out of cost, and I still got to pay it, and it costs more. I don't, and I'm not saying they have been great to work with. I'm not. It comes out of my budget. And goes to their budget.
But in that case, if we're paying ourselves, it stays in the county budget. Like, don't worry about your budget. Then, if we can use them, it's like paying. I always say this: it's like paying your spouse to wash the dishes. It still goes in the same bank account in the end. It may look high on yours, but then they have a revenue that offsets that for the whole county. So it's something we should look at.
And I can go to Roger and kind of see what they have time for too, because they might have projects out too. So
hauling material like crazy right now.
Yeah. And so it depends on where they're at on that end of things too.
Yeah. But that, you said 90 days. So,
and he hasn't approved it yet.
Yeah.
So it's just one of those things where we have to know if we're going to do it in house, that's fine. Then we can get it approved, and here's our plan, and that's fine. But
as far as if it goes over where the money, so Joe and Carrie will just have to look at what the original resolution was, how it was, and then we may have to just come back and say not to exceed 70,000, whatever the new number is. So I don't know how it was written. If it's just cool, we can use it out of your maintenance.
It's at a projected. It's at a projected, and that projected was lower than that. The 51,478 is with the contingency built on.
So it's something we have to. Harry will look at with Joe.
All right. So we don't have to act on that. That's just moving forward, giving us info. All right. Department update. And financial reports.
Okay, so we talked about Salzburg a little bit. Basically what's left, we have the second asphalt lift has to go on. After that's done, we'll do painting parking lots, lines, that kind of stuff. We'll hire that out the first time. It's nice to have the professional paint it holds a lot better than what we can get. So we're looking, electric has to be run to the new pavilion. Did the landscaping around that. Railing still has to go up on one of the bathrooms, and then we are looking at washer dryer for that utility building across on the new part as well. So digging into that. So that's kind of what's left on the Salzburg project. The ATV trail was opened the other day. We did finish the grading and some hauling, and got that completed. Signing the ATV club helped with that. That was nice. Concrete Park, working on a few. They had some roofs that were bad on a couple of their statues, so we're helping them with that. Here, Tim's Hill. That's something there's a couple projects there that things are starting to kind of a little bit dilapidated as far as the fishing pier. We do have to, as one of these days, do something with that. Some of those poles are rusted off that hold it. The wood itself is on the replacement side of things. So that's something. The pavilion, I am going to have a contractor come look at that and see what we can do. The roof, we did that, and it's at one of those 20-year shingles, and that was 2003 that we did that roof. So that needs to be done as well. There's the beach. We didn't even put the beach in this year because it's just embarrassing. So what's happening is the water's coming down the hill, runs down the sand washes in, and then you just get weeds growing up. So the way that beach was set, you put a weed barrier down, you put your wash rock pebbles on there or whatever. Well, that keeps the weeds away unless you have the erosion going in. So basically what we need to do is ditch on the far side, but that's kind of a bank there. So it's a little bit of a project that has to be done eventually here as well. So the timber sale at Tim's Hill, that's almost completely set up. That'll be this fall. We'll be putting that up for bid. Big Falls, the toilet delivery was supposed to be, or the 2 vault toilets, that was supposed to be next week, but they said we're behind, so I'm not sure when that's going up. We did order lights for that project as well. Smith Lake, we had that complaint about the sites. We did bring in material and smooth them out. Haven't heard complaints about it, but it's so that turned out fine. Let's see, a couple of small repairs. Some of the you get those coin mechanisms parts, ordering for those. It's kind of always a constant battle. But timber sales, we have 4 active ones. Markets are slow overall. We could, but we will not hit our number this year. Just they're not taking enough wood at the mills to actually hit that number. It's frustrating for loggers as much as for us, and you can't go to work because you can't move the product. So let's see, Louisville Grade Road, did buy the fabric for that. I'm going to work with Rick Kilty, was going to come put in those tubes that are showing on the road and replace those. So, and haul some material on top. So, yeah, besides that, that's next things we'll be kind of looking at doing. We'll be working on our normal timber sale roads that we replant and whatever. We'll be working on that. The Steve Creek Range, that project will probably be starting here within the next month or two. same thing with Big Falls and taking that project on. So
Sounds like busy.
I'll make a motion to approve the vouchers.
Second.
Wow.
No, can't do
Question
it.
on vouchers.
Oh, we need a second?
I did.
They got a second. You can question.
Okay, 3 things, because I peeked. The park caretakers, is that the total for the season? We've got Solberg at $1,900
it's a month.
a month,
Yeah.
1,900, okay.
They're
Oh,
required to stay out there.
She did
and-
stop by when we were there and asked if we needed anything,
Yeah.
so.
We did bump that up this year a little bit because they have to clean across the road as well. So
Okay. Number 2,
It's for only 5 months. Right? Or is it 6?
You really-
6
yeah.
months. 6 months. Yes, 6 months. I was
Okay.
trying to count in my head too.
yeah,
okay, yeah, she stopped by. It says it says inmate labor that we had to pay. What is that? We're not paying the inmates, are we?
yeah, we are. That's the Flammable Correctional Crew. They come every spring and do park cleanup, and then when we have kind of random jobs where it's a lot of hand labor, where you need multiple people, they have really helped
They
us
hand
out.
rake every site.
Yeah.
They
The whole
hand
park
rake
gets
pine
hand
cones
raked.
and everything out of every site.
Okay.
It's
And we pay them per hour per person.
It's
fee. And
it's changed year to year. Sometimes it's per day, and I think now it's per day for the inmates. So
and do they actually get paid? The inmates themselves? Do you know? Just
Or does the
curious.
system
where the
get
check
it?
goes, he doesn't care.
I should, if I say it, I'll be wrong. I thought that they do get a little
Okay.
bit of but it isn't much.
Interesting.
It's
Okay.
But I
Number-
gotta pay for the bus.
Number 3, this was the lottery one. We paid from Amazon Wastebasket $36, 2 of them. So I'd just like to see what a $36 wastebasket looks like.
$18, about 2.
It says 36 and 36,
Oh.
$72. So just,
Was that under forestry or
it
was
says,
that under?
it says wastebasket, because there's other waste cans.
That was probably building.
Christy does a
accounts.
pretty
And you
good
can-
job of shopping around on
You
things.
can tell.
and I'm thinking those are multiples in there. But
Oh, okay, like a
yeah.
6-pack
yeah,
for
when
36.
when it comes to looking for things, we're pretty
Okay.
careful on what we do.
Just let her know somebody saw that.
Yeah.
Went, what? Okay.
All right, we have a motion, a second. All in favor to approve vouchers, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed likewise. Next one is adjourned. Oh.